What's going on, guys? The King of the Monkeys here.
What do you mean by that?
Nah, I'm just playing. What's going on, guys? It's Zero, and it's been a long time since I've done a tier list video. Since then, a lot of anime tower defenses have come out, and a lot of anime tower defenses have died. In this video, I'm gonna be ranking every single anime tower defense that's ever released that I can remember. Now, some of these anime tower defenses I play less than others, but I'm gonna try to keep it as unbiased as I can, and I'm overall just gonna be rating off of quality and amount of content. Now, obviously, newer games aren't gonna have as much content as the older games that are on this tier list, so I'm not gonna be including those when it comes to amount of content they can get a pass. And also, I'm not going off the game's primes, I'm going off what they're like right now, or at least within like the last few updates. So I'm not gonna have any nostalgia bias for these games either. Not gonna lie, based off the last response to my tier list video, it's probably be a little controversial and we might not agree, but I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's get to the tier list. Alright, so we have every anime tower defense here, at least the ones that I can remember. I think this should be every single anime tower defense though. There's probably some obscure ones that I'm missing, but this tier list is a little outdated. It was made by this guy, so shout out to him. And then I added some tower defenses that were newer, just not on here. So the tiers that we have here are best, great, good/underrated, mid, and dead. Now, some of these games are anime specific tower defenses, and I haven't played any anime specific tower defense, so those I'm just not gonna put on the tier list. But anime specific tower defenses like Demon Slayer tower defense or Naruto tower defense, I'm not gonna be putting those on the list. Just the ones that are specifically anime, like all animes. All right, that's enough explaining. The first game we're gonna start with is, this is a little out of order, so I guess we're just gonna start with, let's just start with Anime Reborn since this is all out of order. Anime Reborn has 300 players right now. It's dead, bro. Let's be honest. It's dead. I feel like Anime Reborn has decent quality and a decent amount of content. Anime Reborn, I kind of have a soft spot for because I did like this game and I have a few videos on it, but apparently their old dev team was like just trash and the game just died. It only has like 200 players right now, which is actually crazy. But I could see Anime Reborn making a comeback. I wouldn't be surprised if Anime Reborn makes a comeback, but currently, it's just dead, let's be honest, bro. Decent game, sad fate. The next game I'm gonna choose is Ultimate Tower Defense. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Ultimate Tower Defense is making a little bit of a comeback. I seen that they had a new update that was pretty good. In the Big 2-5, Ultimate Tower Defense is looking decent. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna put it in dead, but I don't want to put it in good because there's a few games that are going to be probably going to good that are definitely better than Ultimate Tower Defense. So I'm just going to be putting it in mid. Decent quality, good bit of content because it's been out for so long. I'd say Ultimate Tower Defense is pretty mid. Not bad, but it's not up there with these other games. The next game I'm going to choose is Anime Tower Defense. Now, if you even remember this game had like 1K players, and honestly, I feel like it was really underrated when it was out, but this game went private like very recently. The game had good quality and decent amount of content, but the game just came out at like a horrible time. It came out and had to compete. It came out the same time as Anime Vanguards, and that just like taxed its player count, and it was already cooked from the beginning. So Anime Tower Defense is absolutely dead, quite literally. It's closed. The next game is gonna be Anime Last Stand. Let's just get this out the way, man. Anime Last Stand. Now, I used to be a chronic Anime Last Stand hater, but nowadays Anime Last Stand is great. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's top 2. You already know what the top 2 are, let's be honest. Anime Last Stand has good quality, crazy amount of content, pretty overwhelming for a new player, to be honest. Anime Last Stand has the most content while having the best quality, probably has better quality of life than Anime Vanguards now, to be honest, which is really crazy because Anime Last Stand used to be so mid to me. I got cooked all in the comment section of my first tier list video I ever made because I put Anime Last Stand too low. But now Anime Last Stand's at the top. I can't hate no more. The next tower defense I'm gonna choose is Anime Power Defense. I used to kind of hate on this game a little bit too, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm just a hater. Anime Power Defense is like pretty good. It's really underrated too, I'm not gonna lie. In fact, I'd go as far as to say Anime Power Defense is great, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Anime Power Defense just had like a huge update as well. The game's quality is top notch. The game has great content. I'm not gonna lie, if you haven't played Anime Power Defense, you're missing out. So Anime Power Defense is going in great. If you want to say it was in good/underrated, I can understand that as well because it's definitely underrated, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt and just put it in great. Now, next game I'm gonna choose, let's just get out the way, All-Star Tower Defense. astdx is coming out in less than a week, July 5th if you didn't know. And let's just be honest, the game's ancient, bro. It's the grandfather of all these games. But we have to be honest, in 2025, ASTD, it's not dead, but it is mid. So it's gonna go there. Obviously, I have a lot of great memories on Prime ASTD, but it's not Prime ASTD anymore. It's 2025, bro. It's gotta be a mid. Now, the next game I'm gonna choose is Special Anime Defense. Now this game's called Anime Ascendance, and this is dead. The game's closed, and they're making a comeback, but it didn't have a lot of content. It had a bad dev team. Pretty sure they have a whole new dev team now. So this game could make a comeback, but realistically, probably not. It's not gonna compete with Anime Vanguard's Anime Last Stand. So Special Anime Defense literally is dead. Maybe Anime Ascendance will save it and take it to good or great, but it's dead, bro. Next game I'm gonna choose is not even really a tower defense game. I know Anime Rangers definitely isn't really a tower defense game, but it's kind of close enough. I'm just gonna put it on here. I don't know why it's on here, to be honest, but it's mid. It's pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie. The gameplay loop is repetitive, has a decent bit of content, especially for like a new game. The quality's alright, but I just don't feel like this game's anything crazy. Next game I'm going to choose is Multiverse Tower Defense, and this game is also dead. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm seeing a trend here. Every game that came out around the time is Anime Vanguards just died. So Multiverse Tower Defense, if you don't know, this came out within the same week as like all 3 of these games here, and Multiverse Tower Defense died. Pretty sure it was the same situation where like the dev team was bad or something along those lines. The quality was all right. The content, there wasn't much. They only had like 2 updates, I believe, and then they haven't updated since. I think they're making a comeback like all these games. But the next game is Anime Defenders. Anime Defenders in the big 2-5. I might need to make a tier just for bad, because that's what Anime Defenders is, bro. I think we all know the story of Anime Defenders. It was once like right here, maybe I would put it right here back in the day, but it's not 2024 summer anymore, it's 2025. Anime Defenders has completely fallen off. 3K players from like 300K, even though they were bots or alts, whatever. Anime Defenders had good quality and it has a lot of content. The unit selection, like it's literally not even anime. It's the game modes they had were trash. When they added the Phoenix Realm update, that's when the whole game went to trash. And then they had like an ad update when The Rock was in the game. The game's cooked, bro. The game, honestly, I might even have to put it in dead, but it still has like 3K players, so it's not dead. But Anime Defenders, definitely mid. Game was pay to win. The trading went crazy. The values, the inflation, like once they added game passes to trading, the inflation went crazy and it just ruined the currency. And you could get scammed in Anime Defenders more easily than you could probably get scammed in any game ever. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Now let's do Anime Royale. Anime Royale was pretty decent when it came out, but now it's kind of just mid. I mean, it's not bad. Anime Royale is pretty decent. It's not as bad as these. Now, Anime Royale sadly only has like 100 players right now, so I might have to put it in dead. I feel like Anime Royale has decent content and definitely decent quality, but like I feel like I can't get it over decent, so it would probably have to cap out at mid. But because of the player count, I'm just gonna put it in dead. Now, I used to be an Anime World Tower Defense hater as well, but Anime World Tower Defense is great. I'm not gonna lie. Anime World Tower Defense is probably the most unique out of all of these games. It's the most diverse. It has a lot of content, good quality as well. So Anime World Tower Defense is going in great. Now, next game I'm going to choose is Anime Crossover. Now, this game had a pretty unique concept, I guess. It was like anime, and then there was like games as well. They had Harry Potter in there too. I remember Steve was in this game for sure. So like it says, it's a crossover game, but it's completely dead. It was mid quality. Not that much content. The game's dead now. It has like 20 players, so dead. Another game that's dead, Anime Odyssey. It was supposed to be an Anime Adventures remake, and then Anime Adventures came back, so I'm pretty sure they just stopped development and started focusing on changing their game to something else entirely. So Anime Odyssey is dead. The game was pretty trash, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was Anime Adventures from Wish, and game had mid quality, mid content. It was like the beginning of Anime Adventures, but trash. So the game's dead now, and that's where it's at on the tier list. Now, next game I'm going to choose is Anime Guardians. Now, this game is pretty underrated. I'm not going to lie. I like this game a lot. I think the quality is pretty good. It's definitely underrated. This is the perfect spot for it, I'd say. Now, next game I'm going to choose is Anime RNG Defense. Now, if you don't know what this game is, it's one of those anime tower defenses that's an RNG. You spin for the units. It basically works as like a tycoon. It's kind of weird. It's like an RNG tycoon, but it's anime. You have to like spin for gates and like all that type of stuff. But this game's pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's definitely better than like most of the games in that genre, but it's still not that good. It's just kind of mid. Like there's not really much content because the gameplay loop itself just doesn't allow for that. It's just an RNG game. Decent quality, I guess. I'd say it's actually good quality for that type of genre, but it's not messing with these, so I'm just gonna put it in mid. Next game I'm gonna choose is Anime RNG Tower Defense. Another game of this type of genre, but this one's like worse in quality, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it has more content because it's been out longer. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put that as in mid as well. It's not dead. It has 700 players. The quality's mid. The gameplay loop is also repetitive. There's nothing you can really do much in RNG genre, but it's not dead, so mid is where it can go. Now, next game is Anime Fantasy, and this game is kind of similar to Anime Guardians in a sense, and it's going to the same place. Anime Fantasy is a pretty decent game as well. It has good quality, good content, but this game's player count is pretty low. It's not low enough for me to put it in dead, I'd say. It's at 500 right now. I feel like this game's really underrated, to be honest. It's only on update 2, and now we're at the last 4 tower defenses because the rest of these are some random junk. But before we get to the last 4, if you guys haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All-Star Tower Defense X is coming out on July 5th, and I'll have a lot of videos on that for you guys. And let's get to these last 4. Next one I'm going to choose is Anime Realms. Let's get out the way. Anime Realms is dead. It was also an Anime Adventures copy that failed because it was trash. The dev team had some stuff going on. I'm not going to talk about that, but the game was never that good to begin with. It was Anime Adventures if it was worse, and like I said in my last tier list video a few months ago, when Anime Adventures come back, it was just going to die, and that's exactly what happened. It died. It has like 1 player right now. The quality wasn't good. The content wasn't anything crazy. It's just Anime Adventures, and then they started doing their own stuff towards the end once it was already too late. Now, speaking of Anime Adventures, here we are. The last time I made a tier list, Anime Adventures wasn't even out. Animated Adventures hadn't even came back yet, and I even put it in best because I was glazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nowadays, it pains me to do this, but it's low-key dead, man. 200 players. Again, completely fell off a cliff. It actually hurts, bro. But it's not Prime AA anymore, man. It's not 2023 anymore, man. Animated Adventures completely died. It came back, and when it came back, it just failed, bro. I think everybody knows the story of what happened, but they came back and nothing really changed. They had the same quality of life. They couldn't compete with the Anime Vanguards and Anime Last Dance because they didn't add anything. And then when they did add stuff, it took a while and it was like half baked. Then they changed all the models on the units. People already don't like it when the units don't match animes, but they changed it, and the models that they chose were just a specific type of ass, but the models that they chose were just like a special type of trash. So the game's just completely dead now, but I do still have hope that one day, you know, maybe Anime Adventures X will come out. Now, the next game is Anime Infinity. This game just released like a few weeks ago, I believe. It's basically an anime tower defense, but they only have infinite, and I think it's pretty good, to be honest. I'd say it's underrated. It's not anything crazy, but it has pretty good quality, decent amount of content for a game that just came out. It's about what you would expect, and it's a little bit unique, you know. It's not the average anime tower defense, so I'd say it's pretty good / underrated. And the last anime tower defense that we have is, of course, Anime Vanguards, which is probably the best. It's between these two, obviously. It's obviously between these two. I'd say Anime Vanguards has the higher quality, while Anime Last Stand probably has better quality of life features now. The only real issue with Anime Vanguards that anybody can really say is, I guess, the time between updates, but for the quality, it makes sense. Anime Vanguards has the best quality, probably has like top 3 most unique content as well, while having some of the most content here. So Anime Vanguard is definitely the king of anime tower defenses right now. Anime Last Stand is the only thing that's able to give it a challenge currently, but we'll see. Maybe All-Star Tower Defense X will come in and beat all these. Alright guys, that's gonna be the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's my tier list of every single anime tower defense that I can remember. I definitely forgot some anime tower defenses that probably have like 20 players and never got that big, so I just never seen them. If you have any of those that I forgot, make sure you leave them in the comments below, and I'll probably just respond with my ranking, I guess. But thank you guys for watching. If you did like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.